All right, we're back. HSC Podcast. We're in the entertainment section, talking movies like usual. And if you do listen, you like the movie stuff and you want to hear others, like maybe like TV or something, don't forget to let us know in the comments. And I'm not above, I mean, we've talked TV series, other things before. I know we love the movies, but I think we're willing to listen. So jump in the comments. This week, we're back to the three movie reviews, which is great. People seem to like this segment. We get a lot of comments, a lot of views. And like we talked about last week, we found a person, and that person picked an actor or actress, and then we had to pick a movie, and then we all reviewed them. So that's where we're at. And Derek, we'll start with you.
Well, I asked my wife, I said, name an actor, actress, and she's like, why? And I'm just like, just name one.
I know. Why does everybody ask why? What's
Yeah.
up with that?
So she said Ryan Gosling. And so the first movie I thought of, well, there's tons of movies I thought of, but then I'm like, well, you know what? One I love of his is The Big Short. And so I picked The Big Short because for me, it started before The Big Short with the docudrama movie Too Big to Fail.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So when I watched The Big Short, I was like, oh yes, I know all about this. But it's such a fascinating like topic of what
Yeah,
happened.
so before you get into the movie, though, it's interesting. You picked, your wife picked the actor, and then you picked the movie based on what you liked. Like, how can you even pick like The Notebook or something?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch The Notebook. I mean, I could have watched like I mean we've done Gangster Squad, right? I want one I really love too, but I've seen it too recently was the what's the one with the other one was Steve Carell and Emma Stone. You know what's that? What is that one called?
Don't get me lost in movie name Steve's mind, because then I think about it constantly until I figure it out.
No, it's um. I'll figure though. I'll get the.
So
We got a
Wes,
Google stat
what
boy here.
I want to know what Wes thinks about the movie pick. Like, are you above watching The Notebook, Wes?
N- I've seen The Notebook twice. It's it's okay, but it's a little depressing. So
It's a little depressing, isn't it?
yeah, it's pretty depressing. So I try to avoid that, switch it up. Put on one of my recorded movies. I'll put on Blade Runner if I want to watch Ryan Gosling.
Oh, okay. All right. We've
Well,
talked about that before.
exactly. Well, I was gonna say we talked about that. Remember the Titans we've done.
Yeah,
So the movie I was thinking of was Crazy Stupid Love. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's a good
No.
one.
Yeah, but I had just recently seen that, so I was like, oh, I haven't seen
Yeah.
The
I
Big
mean,
Short
I,
in a
I mean, I
while.
enjoy The Notebook, but I'm glad you did The Big Short because I hadn't seen this.
You've never seen The Big Short?
Nope. It's one of those clip movies that you've seen a million clips of, but never the whole thing. And so you got all the good parts out, and so it's hard to sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna watch a movie with all the great clips I've already seen.
Right. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's just I think for me it's fascinating because it goes through the whole process of the banking collapse.
Yeah. How's the the characters and the storyline and the just the plot in general outside of like it kind of based on the true story, this happened, like what did you think of, how did you enjoy like just the acting in general?
Oh, I mean, I thought it was like Gosling was great. Um as Jared Vanette. You had Christian Bale as Michael Burry. Of course, Christian Bale's great in everything. And then like Steve Carell as Mark Baum, just like the utter contempt he has the whole movie. He's like, Like I know this is like you said, the one scene where he's got the two finance bros just talking about like milking all these stupid people. And he just like, you are screwing these people up so badly and you don't care.
No,
But yeah, I mean,
he's playing that part well.
yeah, that's the thing, because Gosling's character, he's kind of a jerk too. Jared Vanette. He's he's like, oh, okay, we're gonna gain the system here.
He's in it for the money,
Yeah, it's all about
just
the
like all
money.
the rest of them.
Right.
I mean, it's a great story and it's really eye-opening. When you watch it, it's everything and everything happens and all the corruption and all this stuff, and then we accept it. But you watch this and you're like, yeah, that's just normal.
Yeah. Well,
Christian
it
Bale.
comes because when Caitlin had bought her townhome back before this, that was going on where like her mom was in finance. She worked at a bank. And when Caitlin was looking for a house, or they'd be like, "Oh, well, you can afford this one. We can, get you good." And then she's like, "No, like actually looking at the numbers, she's like, "No, I can't." And that's how this whole movie is, and that's how what happened in real life. People are like, "Here, you can afford this."
Yeah, I mean, they were making a tons of money just selling real estate to people who couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
It's the way it worked, and it fell apart.
right. Well, they were selling the loans because that's all
Yeah.
they were trying to do is get the loans and then package them together and sell those, and that's how you made your profit.
Yeah, it really, the nice thing about the movie is it slows down and it opens that up and talks about that specifically so people can understand it.
Mhm.
Well, Wes, why don't you chime in? What do you got?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it either. And so it's interesting. Yeah, just going through the derivatives, and you know a little bit about what happened, but it actually explains it pretty well. Um, and of course, uh, Steve Carell is hilarious in it. You know, and yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I was mentioning Christian Bale earlier because, Derek, you brought him up. What did you guys think of Christian Bale's acting job in that one? Because it was pretty wild.
I mean, he will. His character was the only one. I think the others had aliases, but his was the actual guy. He played Michael Burry, and it's Christian Bale. He always gets the character down.
Method actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really wild watching him though. All right. Well, I mean, overall, movie wise, I think it's a must watch for everybody. My opinion, whether you like how they portray the characters or the people or the things that are happening, it's a lot of good information for everybody to see not only what happened, but how that continues to happen. So if people haven't seen this, it's definitely worth watching. But like you said, Derek, there's other avenues for that same thing. Too Big to Fail. There's a couple other ones as well that people are still getting that information at least, but this is a really good representation.
Well, and this is more it's Judd Apatow directed it, or Adam McKay directed it. And so it's got a little humor. And so like Too Big to Fail is more like, you know, meat and potatoes, and this is actually gives you, some acting of what chops, a little comedy. So for people that would to get the information would be through this movie also would be better for some people because it might be easier to grasp.
Yeah, it's got a little more popcorn feel.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Any final thoughts here on Too Big to Fail or
You
Too
mean
Big to
Big
Fail?
Short?
No, Big Short. Now I'm gonna be watching Too Big to Fail later.
I mean, we're gonna talk about another movie then that kind of goes along with this. But it's just so fascinating and interesting about like, it's like you can't really trust people. Don't be like, oh yeah, just that happened to us with this house. We went through a certain bank and when we were getting our loan, and I asked them, I'm like, okay, we've gone through everything. We're going on our honeymoon. Um, can I use my credit cards? Or are you going to run my credit again? And they're like, no, you're good. You're good. You can use your credit card. Because I was like, I can pay cash. On the one, I can, but, and they're like, no, no, you're fine to use the credit card. Guess what? Then they ran my credit again
Yeah, that was due.
and it bumped up our rates.
Yeah,
So don't trust the
no,
banks.
they want to get to the highest rates they can, man. Well, I guess then that takes us to Wolf of Wall Street, which is the next movie. We're going to take you from the banking industry to the stock market industry and the finance. Um, it's interesting. I asked uh, Brooklyn what for a character, and she's picked Margot Robbie. And I started looking at all her movies, and I was like, man, it's been a long time since I saw The Wolf of Wall Street. So I picked Wolf of Wall Street again, not thinking about why she picked it, but what movie I wanted to watch. So maybe we need to have the round two of that where we try to guess a movie that they really like from it.
Well, obviously we had two times to get Barbie and neither one
Right.
did it.
Well, maybe we'll be watching The Notebook and Barbie very soon here. um, it had been a while since I seen this movie. It was really good the first time. It's not as good multiple times. Oh, let's just turn off. So he'll jump back on hopefully here. But did you think it was good? I mean, have you seen it multiple times?
Actually, no, I hadn't. But then it wasn't good. I mean, I think the problem with it is there was so much hype with it. So this is the first time I watched it, but it was like, it dragged. It took a while. And maybe it's for me, I just don't like, because it's the destruction of the character. That they're gonna go they're going down a certain point, and you're like, yeah, I know you're gonna have some bad stuff happen to you. And so it's like watching the destruction of a character is just kind of for me, I just don't like. And it just was so long. It seems so long.
It's very long. It's like 3 hours almost.
Yes, I was like, why, Steve? Why 3 hours?
Yeah, and it wasn't a time thing. I didn't figure that into the choice. But it is fitting, though, when we're talking about banking, now we're talking about Wall Street because what's this movie about? This is about the rise, and it's not just of the Wolf of Wall Street, but it's kind of just the way Wall Street stock market works, and it's very eye-opening when you start looking at that stuff. The portrayal and the characters that you're talking about and the roads they take them down, it's very predictable in that sense. You're like, yeah, you're going down hard, right? Or just like you're going to get yourself in trouble over and over and over again with that kind of behavior. And I think they're trying to create that in the movie. But the whole idea is just amazing. And you think about, the story behind it and everything that the guy went through. And the guy, it's really just the Wolf of Wall Street. So it's kind of cool. Again, it's more like a documentary almost in a really bad way. It's like the most vulgar documentary you've ever seen.
Well, and then I mean, I enjoyed all the acting. DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Jay, or God, why can't I say that? Kyle Chandler. Margot Robbie. Well, this is her. I mean, everyone talks Harley Quinn, but this was her first breakout role.
Right.
And then what was his name? John Berthenol. And like even I was like kind of sad watching it. I'm like, oh, Rob Reiner's in this, and
I
he was
know.
great.
He was good. He was very good in the movie. I mean, they asked him to play a very specific part, and he nailed
$25,000 on a dinner.
it. Oh, that whole scene is great, and that's another one of those clip scenes, right? And again, you're better off, and I hate to say this about a movie, you're probably better off watching the highlights of this movie through clips instead of spending 3 hours to run through it. So this one for me, for the audience, I would say, maybe read the story, read the headline, you know
I mean,
enough,
but the acting is so good though.
right?
But it's not for everyone.
No, there's two problems. The problem is that number one is it's not for everyone. That's the big problem. Number two is the acting is great, but I don't need to see 3 hours of the same great acting.
Right.
And just because it ends up being a lot of the same over and over again. So not my favorite movie, but it's worth a watch if you want to like learn more about that. Kind of like we talked about the baking industry. There's a lot in there that you can take away from that as far as just brokers and Wall Street and the market. All right. Well, that leads us to Lost in Translation. And this is, of course, Wes's, who has a connection problem. But we do know how he got the movie, right? So a friend of his picked, oh,
Scarlett Johansson.
yes,
No,
Scarlett Joe. Just in time, Wes. We were just talking Scarlett Joe. All right. So tell us how you got the actor and why you picked the movie.
Oh, my friend, I just asked which actress, and she's like Scarlett Johansson, and I go, well, I don't want to do the Avengers again. I mean, and then of course, Lost in Translation popped in my head because it's like one of her first movies. I mean, it's a movie made by Sofia Coppola. Um, it was up for Best Picture 2003. It's almost like in a sense, a docudrama. Um, there's there's like large spans in the movie where there isn't any dialogue, which I liked it myself because it was a different type of filmmaking. I mean, now they make those type of movies all the time, but this is over 20 years ago. Bill Murray plays he's an actor and plays in commercials. He's hilarious in the movie. They develop a relationship going around to different places. Um, so it's been a long time since I've seen it. So I don't know. I couldn't think of another Scarlett Johansson movie that, because all of her newer stuff, she's just totally different in this movie. I mean, you know, so I picked it.
Yeah, it's a great movie for her, I think. I mean, she has some really good scenes as well, especially the opening scene. It's a really great scene. But what do you got on this one, Derek?
Oh, it was during the like renaissance of the Bill Murray like dry like dramedy era. Like he did that and Rushmore all around the same time. Um, for me, like ScarJo, I knew like another movie probably you guys haven't seen, but you should check out is Ghost World. She's
I've
great in
definitely
that.
not seen Ghost World.
Yeah, that was one of her earlier movies. Um, But this one, it just the whole time it was just I don't know. It's hard to say stuff without giving stuff away. But like looking through the lens of 2026, and you're like, Bill Murray's character was not a good person.
Right.
And it's like you think like when you watch it before, like in 2003, you're probably thinking more platonic. And now looking at the lens, I'm like, yeah, he was trying to hit that.
Of course it was.
Yeah. And that it was the weird thing. I'm like, oh yeah, because I remember watching it before and not through the lenses. I was like, oh yeah, it's just, two people with just lonely people just trying to hang out. But now I'm like, no, he would have if she would have let him.
Yeah, well, she was married too, so two rights, two wrongs don't make a right. So,
Right.
um, yeah, the Bill Murray character, like he does such a great job, in every role he plays. But this one, there was a lot of realism to it, and I feel like he didn't have to step outside a lot to play this role, which is kind of scary, I guess, a little bit. When you think about, how he's an actor and he's playing an actor. But yeah, it's just a weird situation, I think, is what they atone the movie to, or want you to look at, is because they're in a foreign country. He's there for an extended period of time, but still short. She hasn't been there a long time. Obviously, neither of them have significant others that are either attentive or around them. I think they're building up a story of that, of, you know, you get sympathy for the characters because ultimately you still feel like they're very lonely people.
Well, yeah, well, ScarJo's character, yeah, her husband, kind of just ditches her. And then you've got Anna Faris there who's like, trying to get with it. Kind of. And and then he like is like, peace, I'm gonna go to another city for a while. Leave you here by yourself with no one else to hang out with. That's just very odd to me.
What do you got, Wes?
Well, just back to the, just the making of it itself. There, Sophia, the director, she kind of allowed a lot of improv. It wasn't a very big script, and they shot with a skeleton crew. They weren't so concerned about lighting and sets. It was all just kind of like guerrilla filmmaking, and it was kind of during the late 90s and 2000s when they did these experimental projects. Basically, it was an experimental project. Let's go to Japan and shoot a movie, with Bill Murray and some unknown actress at the time. So I just like how I like the cinematography, the editing. Um, so
Yeah, then you're really just shooting a movie about the movie, because what's the movie about? This guy who's an actor shooting in Japan. But although I think she does a great job, not oh man, it's tough to say, not trying to like persuade him, but they're both going back and forth with this relationship that they have. And at the end, you just, like you said, you want to believe like, oh, is this platonic or not? And I guess that's the only thing that they're trying to get at with their Lost in Translation title. And then it plays on the fact that you can't understand anybody speaking Japanese. Right or wrong. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's not a horrible movie. It's just, I don't know. Should we
it,
start rating the movies? I don't know.
it's like a documentary. This is what it is. This seems like just kind of a documentary.
Well, I like it. It's because, well, we don't have it anymore. It's like a good indie movie. Like Wes
Yeah.
said, it was skeleton crew. Don't care about like the lighting or anything. Let's just like do a story and have acting.
Yeah.
And
Like
we don't
shooting
see
in the
that much
bar.
anymore because it's more about, oh, let's get these budget movies out. Then no
Yeah.
one wants to spend money because there's no more renting. Like this is a rental. This is something you would have gone to Hollywood or Blockbuster and been like, oh, let's check this movie out. It's not a movie you go into the theater to watch.
Right. Now I got to check it out on streaming and they make the money on it. Either way, they're charging me for it. But you're right. When like think about the barroom scenes that there was quite a few of them, right? And they're shooting them from a couple different angles. But really, yeah, you're just in a nice hotel bar, right? With a camera crew and you're trying to light it the best you can because obviously it's not going to be designed for set lighting. And so you got to kind of roll with the indie feel. You're not going to make this any kind of blockbuster. Is it worth the watch or no? So what do we tell the fans?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's good for one time.
Good
It's
for
not
one
like a
time.
rewatch movie a bunch of times, but it's good because the acting is good, the story is good.
All right. Wes, what do you got? It's your movie. I love, I love, I don't know, Wes, you got to come off mute, buddy.
It's not a movie I'd watch 5 times, but yes, I'd recommend it.
All right. So we're all in agreement. Watch it. Love it or hate it, at least watch it once. All right. So that wraps up. That's third movie. And then next week, well, back in sports segment, March Madness stuff. But for movies, let's switch it up, right? Let's try to figure out what movie they think um, that they would pick, right? So we're gonna ask people what movie, actor, actress, and then what movie you think they would want you to pick, but you can't ask them.
So what we're going to ask them, actor, actress, and then
Yep.
we'll try to guess what movie they want.
Yeah, you're just gonna pick a movie based on what you know of them. We're gonna watch it, and then after we review it, you can ask them how close you were.
Okay. Well, that was the thing is, the Ryan Gosling, the movie that Caitlin was probably thinking of was Project Hail Mary
Oh, interesting.
because it just came out. So I think she was thinking of,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I don't know who I would pick. Maybe that's another topic. Like who would I pick? If I was picking Ryan Gosling, what would I pick? More to come next week. Stay with us. Leave us some comments. Any actors? Maybe we'll do a if we could ever get a comment on an actor and actress. We've been asking for it. So give us a comment of an actor and actress, and then we'll try to figure out a movie for them. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.